Yeah, you kind of said it to the crowd. But yeah, what's your take on this defense?
It's been struggling. The consistency hasn't been there, and the one thing that I see is first off too many big plays, way too many. I think the communication seems to not be there as well. So it's different things that need to come together. You look at a team like how they played last week. You can't let a team like that first off get a lead like that, stay in the game. Alabama game. You think about the second half, how coming out of the locker room, it seems like so many teams are making a big push in the third quarter where they're making corrections and we're not really reacting ready for those corrections. So that's been an issue in a lot of games this year, which needs to get corrected. But overall, just the defense is not playing the toughness that you would want to see, with the efficiency that you would want to see. And it's just the third downs have been an issue, the big plays have been an issue, just so many different things you could point at to where you can't really try to focus on one thing to correct. You got to really look at the overall effect of what's going on with this defense, and is a 3-4 really the way that you want to go about it.
And you said you don't really see much. They switched to the 3-4, but you don't really see the difference.
Well, yeah, I said you look at the 3-4 defense, and especially on the back end, you look at what it does for a lot of guys who previous year it looked like it was some issues with communication and different things on the back end in the 4-3, and you go into the 3-4. Trying to change up things and look at the lineup and the type of players you have and think that 3-4 is going to fit, but the same big plays are happening. A lot of issues that we were having the previous year, same issues are happening this year. So you're trying to find out what was the real reason behind it, and was it a good move to go that way or not? But it just seems that first off, talent-wise, we gotta use the guys that we have in the right way. I don't know if we're doing that or not, but I think that we got to make sure that we're doing what's right for the guys that we have on this roster, and not just trying to fit pieces in and seeing what they do with what we have. So it's so many different things you look at that you're just trying to make sure that we can at least finish this season off on a positive note. We got 3 left, and it's going to be 3 tough ones, but we got to make sure we play them the right way.
What are your thoughts on Bielema, kind of the situation he's in right now?
Well, he's in a win. He got to win. That he has to win. I don't think he's on a hot seat or anything like that. I think that he's done a good job of really putting some things together. It just hasn't happened, and I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if it's just the guys that we're getting in or if it's just what they're doing once we get them in. But I think that right now, the guys that are playing, if they can't get the job done, they got to get off the field. That's just the way I look at it. I don't see any other way around it. You've had an opportunity for a couple of years, and some of them for the entire season so far, to where it's an opportunity that for someone else to step up and say, you know what, I can get the job done.
Speaking of coaches, what was it like to play for Houston Nutt?
Oh, I loved him. Coach Nutt, and to this day, I still communicate with him. But I think Coach Nutt, he did a great job of getting what you could get out of your players. And he was a guy that you didn't need a whole bunch of rah-rah, but you knew that he was excited and ready for the game as well. So I think that Coach Nutt did a great job, first off, recruiting. Secondly, we always had a big-time running game, and I think the Hogs have always been known as a running type of team. But we got the talent here, and we try to make the best with what we had.
You mentioned about the lack of passion and accountability, I think is how you put it. Could you sort of reiterate that?
Well, I think that when you see certain plays happening and big plays happening, it doesn't have to happen all the time, but you got to get to a point where you see some guys, somebody has to either be calling somebody out or pulling someone to the side or even on the sideline. You see, a lot of times you see it in the NFL as well, where you see guys saying, hey, we need to have a group meeting, whether it be defense, offense, team, but it doesn't seem like there's nobody holding somebody else accountable to the point where, sometimes it gets to an argument. It doesn't always have to be positive where, you're just slightly doing it. No, everyone needs to understand that we need to all be on the same page. We need to all be doing the stuff the right way. And if you're not, I'm going to tell you about it. And it's not to tell you about it to try to make you look bad in front of anybody else, but it's to say, you know what, I see it and I don't need to see it again. And they're all young men, but at the same time, your leaders have to actually be leaders and not just be just showing it, but actually voicing it as well.
How frustrating have the last 11 games, going back to the Missouri game last year, as a former player, been to watch?
Well, it's been pretty frustrating. I actually, when we came a couple of months ago when we spoke to the team, and me, Quentin Caver, Eddie Jackson, and that was the one thing that we tried to voice to them was, you know what, it doesn't seem like the passion is there. It doesn't seem like just the really the want to. Because defensively, it's just a lot of just wanting to get the job done. I don't care if you got to just throw your body in there. You got to at least try to show that you want to get the job done. And a lot of times, you look defensively, just the effectiveness is not there, and the want to really is not there. So you start looking at that. It's not about skill. It's about just a guy wanting to go out there and make a play. And you just sometimes you don't see it, and you wonder why not. And like I said earlier, if that guy doesn't want to, then he needs to get out and someone else needs to go in and see if he can do it.